so today we're going to talk about Hole in My Life. It's a memoir written in 2002 by the author Jack Gantos. So the book takes place in the 1970s when Gantos leaves his high school and is basically thrown into the adult world. The story shows how a somewhat stable life starts to go downhill when he ends up in the federal prison. Gantos always aspired to become a writer, but being so young, he didn't really feel as if he had enough experience to write. At this point in his life, he's yearning for adventure and change, and as we see in the book, this eventually leads to his downfall.
After high school, he worked for his father's construction company in order to afford a college education to become a writer, but his father's business was failing. He wasn't getting anywhere. Gantos was offered $10,000 to deliver 2,000 pounds of hash to New York on a boat. Although this was a risky decision, Gantos accepted and made the trip. During the entire trip, he was scared out of his mind, but knew he couldn't turn back now, and thought that the money was worth it. However, Gantos eventually got caught and was sentenced to 60 days to 6 years in prison. Showing his good character, he was let out early. In jail, he developed his writing skills and turned his life around.
One of the main themes of A Hole in My Life is making the best out of bad situations. One example of this is when Gantos' family first moved to San Juan, Puerto Rico. He couldn't go to the public schools there because he didn't speak any Spanish, but his family didn't have enough money to send him to private schools. So instead of going to school, he started working for his dad's construction project there. And he eventually made enough money to go back to school in Florida. Another example of this theme throughout the book is how Jack Gantos made so many mistakes throughout his life, the biggest of which was probably his decision to help Hamilton smuggle the hash to New York, and he ended up getting caught. But while he was serving time for this crime, Gantos was able to change his ways. He began helping people in the prison hospital, and he began to write, which was his lifelong dream. He wasn't allowed to keep what he wrote in prison, unfortunately, but he was able to practice and develop those writing skills.
We like this book because it is inspiring to people of all ages to never give up, even if they make mistakes. No one is perfect. Jack Gantos made a poor decision early in his life when he decided to transport drugs. However, even though Gantos made a mistake, this did not define him for the rest of his life. He was able to work hard and recover and eventually follow his dreams in becoming a writer. Today, Gantos uses his story to inspire others in making the best of their life.